show you guys how to take apart your 1022. Want to start out and make sure your gun's not loaded. Take out the clip and any ammo if needed. Right now there's nothing in it, as you can see. So I'm going to put the bolt forward. And all the tools you're going to need are a screwdriver, flathead, a rubber mallet or hammer to use a punch, and whatever gun cleaning supplies you want to use. I use a bore snake, but right now I don't have one available to me, so I will probably just use M-Pro 7 on a cleaning pad and push it through with a rod. So let's get started. You want to start out by removing the screw on the bottom post, right in front of the wherever the clip goes in. So you want to unscrew that. So when that's done, you want to unscrew your front clamp. Some models of 1022s don't have this front clamp, but my model does. So I want to undo that. Not all the way, you just want to loosen it enough so that the clamp you can let this thing slide off and you take it off. Put that aside. Next you're going to want to take your safety and you want to put it right in between, because you're going to take the whole stock off. You want to put your safety on both sides of the trigger guard. You want to keep it equal on both sides. So then you're going to take it, and I usually take it from the top and I pull from the top, and there we go. Then you have the stock and the action and trigger assembly. So I'm going to put the stock aside, and this is where you're going to need the clamp, not the clamp, the punch and the rubber mallet. There's 3 spots you're going to have to punch out. Right there, you can see them right there. This one right here is mine. I've disassembled mine, and that's where they all kind of just fall out. So I take out my first one, take out the other one, the other small ones. Those are holding in the trigger assembly. So you're going to want to clamp it, so you're going to want to elevate it. So I'll probably, if you have to hammer on it, I'll probably just use this clamp for now just to hold it up in the air, but mine usually doesn't take much. Like right there, I just popped that one out. So there's 1 punch, 2 pins. There's the last one. This one, yep, just slides out too. There we go. Here's the trigger assembly. You usually don't need to clean this. It doesn't get very dirty. So what I usually do is I probably would just clean this hammer right here with just a little rag or something like that, with a little bit of like oil, and just put a little oil inside there. It doesn't need a whole lot of attention, but yep, that's all that this needs. The trigger assembly isn't very difficult to maintain. Next, we're going to want to look inside here. There's this, this is the bolt and the spring and everything. What you're going to want to do is pull the bolt back, hold it, pull it, push it upward. It will like lock into place. Mine does anyway. Then you're going to take you probably use your finger. I'll probably use my finger, and you want to pull up on this little silver action thing. And then by doing this, it releases the spring. So then this is the spring and the bolt, and then you just have this metal action thing. This should just pop out. There we go. There we have it. And this is basically all you need to do to disassemble your whole entire 22. Okay, now to clean the 1022, all you're going to need is some sort of brush. I use a brush that came in a kit that I have. It's a Hoppe's brush, and it has 2 sides. It has a small brush for like getting into tighter spots, and then it has a bigger end, which is pretty nice. I use them both. But what you're going to want to do, spray your M-Pro 7 or any gun cleaner. You can use Hoppe's number 7 or whatever number it is. I can't really remember. I got it in here somewhere. Hoppe's number 9, my bad. And so you want to just spray it in there, or put it on a rag and clean it up in there, but I'm just going to spray it in there. You can use however amount you want, but you can be generous if you want. But then I'm just going to use this old rag I have, and I'm just going to, actually, nope, I'm going to use this brush, and I'm just going to scrub inside of there. And this is just going to clean all of the old crud and all that crap and good stuff that you don't really want in there. Done brushing it off, I'll probably just put the brush aside and take this rag I have, and I'll probably just wipe it all down, get it all the oil and crap out of it. And there we go, look at all that. It's kind of gross. And then just wipe it down with this rag I have. And then when that's all cleaned off, I'll clean the firing pin. Looks pretty good. I'm just gonna put this aside, and then I'm gonna go and clean this thing, the little firing pin. I'm not really sure what you would call it, but right there you can see where the big pin sits, right there. So I don't know exactly why you have to use a big pen, but that's just what Rigger did. So now I'm just gonna, my brush is still a little wet, I think, and I'm just going to scrub it down all the way inside of it, all these little cracks and crevices and stuff. You don't want to just brush on those, and if you have to, you can just give it a little bit more Pro 7 in there, and just clean it all up, make it all look shiny and everything. This brush does a pretty good job. Get on the part where the 22 shell sits, right there. Want to clean that up pretty good so that you don't have any malfunctions or jams or anything like that. So yeah, just get all the little holes that you see in corrosion, and not really corrosion, but like gunpowder and black crap and stuff. All these main little spots. Right there's one. On these little cracks are probably the biggest, but you pretty much just get as however much you want until you just, however much you feel comfortable with. So I'm pretty sure that's pretty good for me. So take my rag and just wipe it down, get all the crap out of it. It should be pretty good. I'm done. Just wiping it all off. Okay, looks pretty good. Now that we're done cleaning for the most part, we can clean the barrel. I'll probably just wait to do that, and I'll probably just pull a bore snake right through that when I have that. So that's pretty good for now. Now we just got oil. So I'm going to use some Hoppe's number 9 lubricating oil. That's pretty much all I have on me right now. So this is a pretty old bottle, so it might run out. But places you're gonna have the oil be right here on this assembly, right here and there would be one spot. Both sides of this little firing pin. It'll just move around a little bit on you. Inside that little crack would be good. On the front end, just a tiny bit, just little dabs everywhere. Then on the back, you can give it one dab on the back. That should be pretty good for the most part. Next would be your trigger assembly. It doesn't need a whole lot. Basically, you can just put it just about in all the little springs and stuff. It'll come off eventually. It kind of just comes off as you shoot and stuff, but it doesn't really affect anything. I'm going to move the hammer forward. I'm going to put on that spring back there. So, yeah, that looks pretty good. That's good. And last, we're going to put it inside of this, along with the bolt. I'm going to put it more up front by where the cartridge is, just where this metal firing pin slides on this action. I'm going to put it right along that little rail. You'll see it. I'm pretty good right there, and then that should be good. Oiling is all done. Then I forgot to do this. Forgot to do the spring. It only needs a couple little spots because it compresses and stuff, so it should be fine. So then I just want to break it in, push the spring up and down. Should be pretty good. Wipe it down just a little bit. Then last is assembly. So what you're gonna want to do is start off with basically just doing the exact same thing over, except for backwards. But you want to start over by putting your bolt in first, and then you want to have your action ready for you to put it in. The firing pin that has a little crack right here, that goes on the bottom, so you want it to be facing like this. when you put it in. So what you're going to want to do is basically need two hands for this. You want to pull your bolt back. I'm probably going to use a screwdriver to help me pull it back because it doesn't really like you pull it back all again. So put the spring end right on the very back end. Put one hand right here and try pushing it back with one finger, and then you want to use your screwdriver to push it back on this side along the rail. Once it gets back, it's pretty easy to keep it back in the same spot. So you're going to want to push it all the way back as far as it goes. Being a little stubborn right now, so pushing it all the way back. Once it's all the way back, I'm going to drop the screwdriver and I'm going to drop the firing pin in. Drop it all the way in the very far back, and it's just going to want to ride back up and down, but as long as you can get this firing pin dropped into place, shake it around a little bit. There we go. Dropped it in, and now it rides. Now everything's all clean and everything. Cleaned. Drop the trigger assembly back in. Put it in the same spot you found it. Then put your pins back in. Mine will just fall into place. Yours, if you haven't cleaned it very much, you probably want to use a hammer and hit them back in. Like that one must go here. Yep, that pin goes here. And this pin goes here. Pins go right back where they were. Might need a little tap. Good there, and there actually. Good, and then the big pin and the big hole. I'm just gonna wipe it down. Got a little bit of fingerprints on it. Oh well. It's not a show gun. It's for planking around and stuff. So, actually, I'm gonna just wipe it down real quick. I really recommend this stuff, M Pro 7. It works really well. It gets rid of all of the stains that I've had. Any big problems, I run it down the barrel. It's basically, I like it even more than like Rem oil. I mean, Rem oil isn't anything special, but it comes in this really nice little spray bottle. Then I'm going to want to make sure the pins are all set in place. Put your safety right in the middle, like I said before. Then you're going to want to take your stock again, and you're going to want to put it right back over top of the assembly. It should just drop right in. Once your assembly is everything's put back into place, put your band on the top. Put your band on, screw it in, tighten it down. Once it's tight, you're pretty much good. And then you're going to want to put your last bottom screw right here, right above the clip. Screw that down. Sorry, I'm not showing it, but it's kind of hard. It's pretty easy to know. Once you see it, it's pretty easy to know what I'm talking about. So there we have it, all oiled up and clean.